Cheers.
Cheers.
So originally we were planning to talk about Ghibli, but we'll talk about Ghibli in the next episode because
Definitely.
just before we talked about Starbucks.
Yeah.
And how Starbucks is different.
For sure. So this are two of the topics that we raised in a poll on our Austin Arthur Friends group.
Yeah. Thank you guys for voting.
Very much.
Very nice.
And I listed a number of topics. And those two were, well, Ghibli was by far the most popular one, and then Starbucks, I think, ended up being popular. And surprisingly, like, I think a few people voted to hear us talk about politics in Japan.
Yeah, like one person wanted to hear about politics in Japan. Yeah.
So I know that may not have been a popular option, but I'm kind of interested in pursuing that in the future.
Yeah, I think we could talk about specific aspects of politics, you know?
Yeah. But we're here to talk about Starbucks today.
And the reason why is because when we were talking about these ideas, I said, we can talk about how Starbucks in Japan is better. And you said?
I said, you're wrong.
No, you said, I disagree.
Yeah.
Which means you're wrong, but
no, I completely disagree.
Well, that's why I want to do this first so we can all see why you're wrong on air right now.
Okay. Well, I'm going to highlight this. So first of all, I want to preface by saying I like Starbucks in Japan. I think it's a nice place.
It's a nice place.
But I have a couple issues with it. First of all, I think American Starbucks is way more comfortable.
Why?
Because so you go in and the atmosphere that you will have in an American Starbucks is very roomy and spacious.
Okay.
And usually they'll have like some really, really fancy furniture, that like nice leather seats. And places that are comfortable to sit in for like several hours. Yeah. And it's not like Starbucks here don't have that. Yeah. Because they try to also have a cafe atmosphere, but if I'm being honest, like the furniture is not very comfortable in my opinion.
Yeah. I think you and I are just too big for it. That's a big part.
Well, I mean, yeah. But there's also like, and I don't think this is necessarily Starbucks' fault, but there's a lot of people, and every time I go into a Starbucks, it's often very hard to sit down. Yeah. Which, like I said, I don't think that's necessarily Starbucks' fault. It's probably the fault that we're in Tokyo. Yeah. And there's just a lot of people here. Yeah. But it kind of ruins my experience because like when I go to Starbucks, like I kind of just want to be in my little zone. Yeah. And so that kind of just gets ruined here.
Yeah. So I guess okay. So what you're saying is valid. I guess what I said, I feel like Starbucks here is better. I was focusing on like the service and not the actual user experience with you actually being in here with all these other people. Because actually, I don't go to Starbucks specifically because there are too many people here. It's just too annoying. But dude, there are other parts that I really like. Yeah. But
another thing that I kind of get a little bit annoyed at is I feel like it's kind of hard to deviate off the menu here in Japan.
Yeah, right.
Like in Starbucks, one of the cool things about Starbucks, if you go to America, is of course they have a menu, but they also have like a secret menu that you can order. But at the same time, if you just give them instructions, they'll make your own custom drink. Yeah. Like it's really customizable and really flexible. Yeah. And you don't get that level of customization here. Yeah.
I mean, it goes with the culture. Yeah. You know?
Yeah. It's like, here's the things on the menu. Please stick to that. Right.
Yeah. I saw actually on X, formerly known as Twitter or something. I saw a guy who he got he has like a rewards card and he got like one free drink, any drink for free. Yeah. And so he made it a custom drink that if he were to order it at a regular Starbucks, it would have been like $50. And he got it for free.
Wow.
Yeah.
Did you just put the cap on so I can pour for you now?
No.
Just subconsciously?
No. If I was expecting you to pour for me, I would have not put the cap on. Then as I put the cap on, I'm like, oh shit, he's waiting to pour for me. Never mind. I just want you to go through that extra effort, man.
Yeah, I can tell, man. Another thing that kind of annoys me a little bit. So coffee culture, and we've talked about, you mentioned that we talked about this in a previous episode when we were talking about coffee, but coffee culture is between Japan and America are very, very different.
Yeah, very different.
Right? Japan embraces kind of like European coffee culture, where it's like everything's set up as a cafe and it's meant to be like a midday break.
Yeah.
Where I think like American coffee culture, it's like it's breakfast.
It's breakfast. It's the morning. It's in America, coffee is your caffeine hit for the day.
Yeah.
Like a lot of people, they talk about like I mean, you've seen the shirts that say "Don't interrupt me until I've had my coffee" or something. It's like before coffee, I hate the world.
Yeah.
You know, or something like that.
Yeah. So like we're pretty serious as Americans when it comes to drinking coffee in the morning. And so to embrace that idea, like Starbucks opens up at 5 a.m. every day.
Yeah.
Like
very early.
And it's crazy to say this, but there's often lines formed by 5 a.m.
Especially drive-through lines.
Yeah. Yeah. People are, you know, they're often like, you know, blue collar workers that are on their way to like a construction job or some factory job. And, you know, they start work at 6 a.m.
Yeah. The thing that I never understood is like, why would you wait in a drive-through line for like 10 minutes to do your order when you can just park and get your order inside and then come out?
You know, I've had several debates with my dad about this. Well, I wouldn't say debates. It's more discussions because we kind of both agree with the same thing. Like back when my dad could drive. So I'm going to throw my dad a little bit under the bus right here because he was a McDonald's guy. He had his McDonald's every single morning.
Oh, yeah, and, McDonald's breakfast.
Yeah. And, you know, every now and then I'd go with him for breakfast in the morning. And my dad would always comment on that.
Yeah.
As soon as we get, like, because we would go to breakfast at like, you know, 7 or 8 in the morning. And, you know, we'd get there and the parking lot would be completely empty.
Yeah.
And there would be like 12 cars like waiting in line at the drive-thru. And it's just like, I don't understand these people. If they just parked and went in, it's like, I mean, you're not wrong, Dad.
Yeah.
But also, like, we're in America and everyone's lazy. No one wants to get out of their car.
I know. Did he ever park and get out? And
Okay. But yeah. So I mean, I honestly, I feel like this is a lazy thing. It's like, dude, I'll wait 10 minutes if it means I can be in my car with the heater and like that kind of mentality.
Yeah, dude, I'm so the opposite. Like when I'm moving or I have a goal, I need to. My natural tendency is to need to be moving until my goal is accomplished. So like when I'm walking home, you know, so basically I get off at the train station, then I walk like 15 minutes to my house and I cross a bunch of intersections. But like the train exit is on two sides of the road. It's a very big road, so it's on either side. And I get off on the side of the road where even if I have to stop at a pedestrian light because, you know, traffic's coming in, I can still go over the other one. So I'm still in motion. Yeah. So I don't have to wait for that because like, so let's say so my house is on the left side of the road and I'll be on the right side of the road because if I have to, if I'm on the left side of the road, I just go in a straight line. But then if there's a pedestrian light, I have to wait at that pedestrian light. So I'll go to the right side because then if there's a pedestrian light, I can cross over to the left side and feel like I'm making progress. That's just how I am, man.
Such a weirdo, man.
You know, it's okay. I just always need to be moving. So I would be the one who's like in the drive-thru. I'd be like, this isn't working. I just park and get out as soon as I could because I just want to move, you know. But yeah, you know, when I have a goal, I try to get it.
That's fun.
Anyways.
All right. So another thing, and I'm going to ask you this because I'm actually not 100% you can't do this or 100% sure you can't do this here in Japan. But another really big thing about Starbucks in the US is you can actually bring in your own mugs and have those filled up. But I've never seen that done here. You
know, they're starting to do it. I think like when I was in Yokohama just the other day, I had a meeting in the morning and I was at a Starbucks and I feel like I saw someone bring one of their thermoses. Or
really?
Like that. Just I could have been wrong, but I feel like I felt like I saw that. Okay. So, but yeah, most of the time, you know, you don't want to like pass personal things. Like in Starbucks in the United States, the staff is much more personable, much more flexible, and that's how it is in the States.
Yeah. It definitely feels like it's less of a transaction.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the Starbucks people in the US will get sometimes a little bit too personal.
Yeah.
Well, they'll just be like, they'll just make comments that's like, dude, I don't really care. It's like, oh, how's your day going? Yeah, it's good. How's yours? Oh, well, you know what? You know, I've been having a busy day here at Starbucks, and it's like, dude, I don't care. Just give me my damn coffee. Like, I'm not here to have a conversation. So it's like there's kind of like some back and forth. Like, I actually like Japan in the sense that like I don't want to talk to the barista. Yeah. I just want my coffee.
Yeah, just shut off.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm the same when I go to restaurants. Like, if the waiter comes over and is like chatty and it's like, dude, just fuck off and give me my food. Like, I don't want to be friends. Like, go away. Yeah. You know, I shouldn't say that. I'm not a mean and antisocial person.
Austin is a very nice person.
I like people, but like when it comes to like a sales thing, it's like I just want this interaction to be done so I can enjoy what I came here for. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I actually really like Japan because it's not like that. But yeah, it's I don't know. Like I would say the main reason why I prefer American Starbucks is the atmosphere.
Yeah, you know, it's funny you say that because so of course I grew up with a Starbucks in my town, and there were a few Starbucks in Salem, you know, next door to me, and you know, they got kind of like run down. Like everything was like dark colors, and then the couches got old, or like the chairs.
That's crazy. I mean, maybe I'm biased because I'm you know, I was in Seattle, and it's like that's literal Starbucks land. Like you can't go anywhere in Seattle without encountering a Starbucks. Yeah.
Well, I know Starbucks is insane over in Seattle, but what ended up happening though is like a couple years ago, they opened up a new location for Starbucks. Yeah. And when I went there, they had almost like what you kind of see here. They had like a big wooden table.
I hate that.
I love those.
Oh God, I hate those so much, man. I feel so claustrophobic when I'm sitting at those.
So first let's decide what is the ideal sitting arrangement for you.
Okay, so the ideal sitting arrangement for me, and I'll tell you because I used to hang out in the Starbucks. I shouldn't say this. I used to skip class when I was a high school student.
It's okay.
And so like, well, I say I shouldn't say this because I would often skip Japanese class.
Yeah, right. Oh, you skip Japanese class. That's a whole nother thing.
Not because I didn't enjoy it. I actually really liked my teacher, and I had a lot. Obviously, I was interested in Japan, but class started at 6:30 in the morning.
What?
And I had an hour and a half commute.
Wait, was it the Japanese school in like South Seattle or close to the southern?
No,
part
but I did go with my friends to that a couple times. Okay. So this was at my school, and we had like an advanced Japanese class. Okay. And it started 0 hour. So it was like either 6:30 or is it right at 7? Man. And so I lived an hour and a half away from school, because the school was in South Seattle, and I was like, I grew up in like Bothell,
you know, which is north,
which is not very close to Seattle. But yeah, so I used to get up in the morning and take the bus to school and just be like super tired and just go, man, you know what? I'm just not going to come into school at this time. Yeah. And so I would go hang out in the Starbucks and kind of just, you know, be on my own. And they had these really big lazy boy chairs that you could kind of just kind of sink into.
So lazy boy chair, describe a lazy boy chair to us.
So a lazy boy chair is like a recliner chair.
Yeah, just kind of.
They're really expensive like chairs that you just sit in, and they're very comfortable.
Yeah, the back goes down, the footrest comes up.
Yeah. And so like I would sit in there, and there was like a little coffee table right next to the chair that you could put your drinks on and just kind of relax in. And it was even cooler because the chair had a swingable like little like desk kind of thing. Okay. So if you wanted to pull out your laptop or something and do some work, you could sit there. And so that's where I would spend like the first hour to hour and a half of my mornings, like skipping class as a high school student. Yeah. And it was just great. It was like a really nice time for me to just kind of be by myself. And so that's kind of the bar that I set every Starbucks that I go into.
Okay, a lazy boy with a desk.
So to be fair, like I know that every Starbucks isn't gonna like have that, but ideally what I'm looking for is a really comfortable chair to sit in that I could be in there for like plushy, 2 hours.
You know, it's like cushiony.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, cushiony chairs in Starbucks in Japan don't really exist.
No, they don't. I'll tell you what really drives me nuts is there's kind of like 2 furniture that you'll see over here. The first is like the weird like love seat couch, like the short. You know what a love seat is, right? It's a 2-person couch, right? But they'll have like it'll be like the business version of that, right? Where it'll be like really low to the ground, and it'll just be like a love seat. Okay. And I don't really know who that's for. I guess like 2 people just come to chat, and I don't know. It's like,
I mean, I wouldn't sit in that with you.
No, it's weird. So they have that, and then they have like the really deep, I don't know how to describe them. Like the when I say deep, it's like the seat itself is really long. Yeah. And then like the rest, like the backrest is like that. And that's what the chairs look like. And yeah, I don't know.
I mean, there are places where they have normal chairs in Starbucks too.
Oh, well, like a normal chair and desks and stuff like that. But like, I don't know. It's not the same.
I get it. So like, I mean, I get it. So like in the States, right? Starbucks is a place where all like the high school kids hang out and stuff. Like, I'm just getting into coffee now. I feel so cool. Let's hang out at Starbucks. Yeah. But I feel like that's kind of like what the McDonald's is here. Like the high school kids hang out at McDonald's.
Yeah, if you go into a McDonald's during the day, like there's kids. Yeah. Like there's high schoolers everywhere.
Yeah, and so it's like I feel like, you know, like the purpose of Starbucks is a little bit different, which kind of plays into that. Yeah. Like for me, Starbucks was always like a place where I would get work done. But there are so many places in Starbucks where I don't have enough space to get any work done. So I just don't do it anymore.
Yeah. I will say though that of the cafes, and this might be a controversial take, I will say that of the cafes, Starbucks blows everything else out of the water here.
Depends on what you're looking for.
Maybe not on the quality of coffee, because I know you're the coffee aficionado guy.
Yeah, you saw my face right there.
I know. I saw you kind of like. But for me, it's like atmosphere is more important than taste, because I'm a caveman. Like I can't tell the difference between good coffee and bad coffee. I love 7-Eleven coffee. I think it's really good.
7-Eleven coffee is good, actually. They lose money on that.
Do they?
Yeah, they do.
Oh wow!
They use it to bring people in so that they buy more stuff.
Oh, I didn't know that. Yeah, it's really good though. But yeah, so like I want, like, for me the ideal coffee place is a big spacious place. I don't want anybody in my little bubble.
Yeah, I think. Oh yeah, sorry.
Yeah, I was just gonna say it's really, I mean, just the nature of Tokyo, I guess. It's just really hard to find that.
Dude, yeah, well, Tokyo is like one of the biggest cities in the world. Like so. It's funny because like wherever you go now, they have like 90-minute limits. Like,
oh, that's another thing too. Yeah.
Well, I mean, because I understand, because like there's just, first of all, rent is so high and there's so many people, you know.
Yeah, I get it,
and I think that's one of the reasons why they don't have any of that spacious stuff. Because in the States, like in my small town or whatever, you know, you could stay there all day because it was full sometimes, but not always. But in Japan, it's always like super full, you know?
Like, I don't think you could go to a Starbucks in Tokyo during the day and not find a line.
Yeah, right. Yeah. I mean, it's just... Although I will tell you what was crazy. So today, I just did an event with my students called Jisenkai, where we go to tourist spots and talk to tourists. Not in a weird way. We talk to them in a very natural way.
What's the difference between a weird and natural way?
So, like, a lot of English programs that have you talk to tourists in the
Why are you a foreigner?
Basically. Like, hi, can I talk to you for a minute? Yeah. Like, they start, hi, can I talk to you for a minute? Where are you from? You know, it's like,
why are you here?
Why are you here? Why did you come to Japan? How much money do you have? That, or like you get an interview sheet where like, hi, I'm asking questions. So where are you from? How long have you been in Japan? Like they do that, right? Yeah. But I teach people, like, I have like tourists who are taking selfies. Yeah. We offer to take pictures for them. Yeah. So that they don't have to do it by themselves. Yeah. And then if from their body language, we assess if they're interested in talking more, and if they are, then we talk. If not, then we just say bye. Yeah. So I went to Asakusa Kaminarimon today. Okay. This morning, and the Starbucks right next to Kaminarimon was pretty empty.
Okay.
That was like because after we're done, I have like a little ochakai, like a get together where we talk about our experiences. And I went to like the Denny's, and that Denny's was impossible to get to. But the Starbucks, that's literally right next to. I'm gonna get it for you, man. I'm watching.
Yeah, I'm just sucking this down, man. I've had a long day.
It's okay. Like the Starbucks right next to Kaminarimon, like it's 20 seconds away. That's fairly empty. So
okay.
But yeah, so one thing though, so you've been talking about why you like America better and Japanese Starbucks not as much, but
yeah,
in the defense, the thing that I like about Starbucks here is it's not very common, but especially if you get out of Tokyo, there's lots of unique Starbucks.
Okay, I'm glad you brought that up because I was actually going to touch on that same thing. Something that I really, really like about Japanese Starbucks is actually collecting the mugs.
Collecting mugs, yeah.
Yeah, because I've got, let's see, I think I have one from Tokyo and one from Osaka.
I'll get you one from Kyoto tomorrow if you, not tomorrow, this month if you want.
Oh, yeah. Dude, that'd be cool,
yeah,
man.
I'm going to Kyoto. So
actually, can you get two?
Sure.
Oh, dude. Okay.
Yeah,
you don't watch this episode.
Don't watch.
Don't watch this episode. This might be.
Or watch it after I come back. Actually, no. We'll probably release this after I come back.
This might be my my present to my wife for White Day. So do not watch this episode.
Dude, I'm coming back on the 17th though. So
perfect.
Okay.
Yeah. All right, great.
So yeah, you were going to say about the you like collecting the mugs.
Yeah, so I don't know why Japan started this, but for whatever reason, they decided that the Starbucks would be like a regional thing.
Yeah.
So like Tokyo Starbucks, like all the big cities in Japan have their own unique like items in Starbucks. And so like it's really cool. It's like you can go get like omiyage and you can go get like little like mugs and stuff, and I like that.
Yeah.
And that's like, in my opinion, that's like Japan just playing to its strengths, because like, man, nobody does gifts better than Japan.
Yeah.
Like 100%.
Yeah. The other thing that I really like about that too is they have do you remember when they did that like Todofuken Frappuccino thing where each different prefecture had a different Frappuccino?
Yeah. How that was that? No, that wasn't last year.
That was like 2-3 years ago.
It was a little bit ago, yeah.
But that was a great idea because like I know people who traveled.
I did.
Yeah.
So like we traveled. Where did I go?
Oita?
I don't remember where we went, but I went to 2 or 3 different places. I think it was by myself. And got like the different frappuccinos and stuff. So it was fun.
Yeah. And the thing I also really like about the Starbucks here is the drinks look like the pictures.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Like the presentation is just, cause like in the States, you know, whenever you get something, it like doesn't look anything like the picture, you know?
Yeah. I mean, I think that comes down to like, especially in like service jobs, like fast food and like kind of like barista stuff, like the people working at those places in the US very much are not people who are like, I don't want to, I'm trying to think of a way to sound nice when I say this, but they're mostly kids and they're people who are like really just not taking their job seriously.
With green hair.
Yeah. Whereas here in Starbucks, I think that like by far the majority of people working at Starbucks are college students.
Well, yeah, and also it's like a status thing. It's a cool thing to work at Starbucks.
Yeah. And so like, you know, they're not working for tips. I feel like there's not this like sense of entitlement that people have here. They're just getting their job done, and you know, no one. I don't know. This Japan's always. Like they're famous around the world for being efficient. Yeah. Like there is no country in the world that like has quality and efficiency like almost at the same level as Japan. Yeah. And like, it just goes to show in Starbucks too.
Yeah. I mean, like, so that's the reason why I like Starbucks more here is one, depending on the region, you get very unique Starbucks, which is really cool. But then also quality of service is better. People take pride in their work more. The drinks actually look like on the menu. Yeah. And I like the whole regionality kind of thing. Like they have, of course, you know, in the States, they have pumpkin spice and peppermint stuff.
Okay, so that pisses me off that they do not, because they have pumpkin spice and peppermint here, but it's for 1 month.
Okay.
1 month. It's like October, pumpkin spice, December, peppermint. That's it.
So I gotta. So
I know you guys have that syrup in the back.
I do.
Let me have it.
So let's. I wanna kind of talk about the history of the pumpkin spice latte, because there's actually a story behind it. Because Starbucks did the peppermint for Christmas, right?
Yeah.
And that went really well. The peppermint latte.
Dude, who doesn't like a peppermint latte? It's delicious.
So they were like, let's do a fall thing. Okay, Thanksgiving. We got cranberries. No. Turkey. No. Pumpkin. They tried pumpkin, actually putting pumpkin into like a latte. It didn't work out very well.
Yeah.
And then they came up with pumpkin spice. And they were like the first chain, or like big store, I guess, that did like a pumpkin spicing, because there's no pumpkin in pumpkin spice. It's the spices you put in pumpkin pie.
Is it really?
Is what you
I
put
didn't
in.
know that.
Yeah. So it's the spices you put in pumpkin pie, you put in your coffee.
Okay.
Yeah, that's why it's pumpkin spice. But that created like a huge sensation all over the United States. Now everywhere they have it.
It's insane.
Yeah. They'll start selling like pumpkin spice. Like you know it's fall when there's pumpkin spice on the menu.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Like, oh man, it's crazy. In fact, there's a really funny cartoon that I saw talking about pumpkin spice lattes, but basically there's a meme that like, especially with like young women, like they're obsessed with pumpkin spice.
Yeah.
So it's like you go to like a Starbucks drive-through and it's just all these like 20-year-old girls just like constantly getting pumpkin spice lattes and then going back in the line.
Yeah, dude. But the thing that I like about Japan is that it's not just like fall and winter, even though it's for a short amount of time. Because actually, pumpkin spice. Yeah, they have other autumn flavors, like they have like chestnuts.
I do like the chestnut flavor. They do have, that one's good.
So like pumpkin spice to us is what curry is to here, right?
Sure.
You know, so like that makes sense. But then they also have, you know, springtime and like summertime.
Yeah, I'm not, you know, I don't like sakura flavored stuff.
Well, yeah, because you're not Japanese.
Yeah,
I'm just kidding. But
like, it's just like super sweet.
Yeah.
Like every time I have something sakura flavored, just like, oh, you just put 4 spoons of sugar in this.
Well, dude, you don't think they put 4 spoons of sugar in the pumpkin spice, man?
Yeah, but at least like there's the spice.
Yeah, they have a little bit of that spice. But yeah, so I do like the seasonality. There's more variety, you know? Like Starbucks still hasn't really gone beyond pumpkin spice and peppermint.
Yeah, I mean, you know, when you get it right the first time, it's like, where do you improve from there?
Dude, that is so American. It's like, oh, we did good enough with this. Okay, there's nothing left to do. Japan is like, hold my beer. I'm going to take this to the next level, you know? Which is what...
But do they compare to pumpkin spice and peppermint?
You know, personally, I think pumpkin spice is overrated.
Okay.
I'm sorry, man.
Yeah, it just... Well, more evidence to the pile that you're not a real American.
Okay, so it kind of goes with like the whole thing about bacon. Like the cultural obsession about bacon.
Please go on.
So first I have to describe to people that people of our generation, bacon is like a societal institution almost, which was just started by the pork lobby, man.
Oh, get out of here, man. Bacon, you know what? Bacon has been severely misrepresented throughout the years. Like, you know, there was that whole safety thing with like FDA saying bacon fat's like unhealthy and bacon's an unhealthy thing. You should stop eating bacon. You know what? No. Everyone should eat like 10 to 12 strips of bacon every single day.
Okay, no, so just hear me out. So bacon is a part of the American diet. Like Americans, since we were farmers.
Not just Americans. You go across the pond, Germans love bacon, man.
It's not the same though. It's similar, but it's not the same.
Really?
They like pork, but it's not. It's different, believe me. But bacon, as you have it in the United States, is a uniquely American thing. But still, bacon and eggs was like a staple breakfast from America. But what I'm talking about is people are like, I need bacon flavored stuff. Like they have bacon flavored ice cream and bacon flavored like tissues, and everything's better with bacon. Like that whole thing was started by the pork lobby to make bacon more popular because of like the oh no, fat is bad kind of thing. But I love bacon. Bacon's great. What I don't like is people saying they like bacon more than they like bacon because of a marketing message to feel cool.
I do like putting bacon bits on stuff, like
dude,
on ice cream.
It's great, but those people who are like, dude, you gotta have bacon. Bacon's the best. Like they make it a joke out of it, you know. And it's like you like bacon, but it's not like that big of a thing for you. It's just
if I could have bacon in every meal, I think it would improve every single meal.
I would too. It's great.
Yeah.
I putting bacon on ice cream is great.
Exactly.
First of all, yeah, but it just goes back to this whole cultural thing of it like being way more important than it actually is. You know, it's like whatever. You know, bacon's great. I don't even know why we're talking about bacon anymore.
I don't know. You brought it up, man. This guy's just
it's because of bacon. Oh yes, pumpkin spice is the same thing. People get so obsessed about pumpkin spice because it's cool to be obsessed about pumpkin spice.
I mean, yeah, it is. Yeah, for sure.
So like I think pumpkin spice is great, but then people are like, oh my gosh, I can't live without my pumpkin spice latte. It's like, yes, you can. You did before.
I will say though, I love pumpkin spice lattes.
They're really good,
but I do prefer the peppermint.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's unique, man.
Yeah. For me, like my ideal like caffeinated beverage, I'm going to say this because it kind of veers a little bit away from coffee.
Yeah.
Is an Irish coffee with peppermint.
Oh, that's going to be good. Yeah.
Oh, you know, you of course you got to put some whiskey in there too to make it a true Irish coffee. But oh man.
Yeah.
Oh God, that is my favorite winter drink. I drink that fairly often in the winter.
Okay. So I misspoke. They also have eggnog lattes at Starbucks, right?
Yeah. So I love eggnog, but strictly until Christmas.
What do you mean?
Like I don't know what it is about eggnog, but it's like I just like if you were to give me eggnog right now, I like the taste, but I wouldn't be able to enjoy it.
Yeah, I know
it's just like from December 1st to actually I would say from Thanksgiving to New Year's. Yeah. Like that little bracket right there.
Yeah.
Eggnog's the most delicious thing ever, and I'll get like eggnog flavored whatever I can find. And then as soon as that ends, it's like get it away from me.
Well, yeah, because like so for those of you guys who don't know what eggnog is, eggnog is a drink that has eggs in it, which is why it's called eggnog, or maybe it's egg yolks only.
Yeah.
And traditionally you mix it with alcohol, but it's got like spices in it and stuff.
Yeah, it's got like a mixture of spices. You put sugar and cream into it. And then traditionally you put either rum, scotch, or whiskey into it.
And it's a very common like Christmas time drink in the United States.
Yeah.
But it's also like an acquired taste, I would say. Because when I first came to the States, so just to tell you, when I first came to the States, I didn't like bacon. I didn't like hamburgers. I didn't like hot dogs. I didn't like eggnog.
So you're just not American.
Oh, I was born in Germany.
Yeah.
What do you want from me, man? But so
how do you not like hot dogs or hamburgers being German?
Hot dogs. Well, so the Frankfurter actually comes from Frankfurt, where I'm from.
Oh, sure.
But it's different. Like, so the hot dogs, like maybe the high quality hot dogs are a little bit different, but the cheap hot dogs that my grandfather used to have in his restaurant, they just had like all these like artificially tasting like spices and stuff like that. That it just didn't feel like. I didn't feel like I was eating meat. I felt like I was eating meat with a bunch of stuff in it. You know, it just
okay. I can kind of see what you're saying. So you just had a shitty hot dog.
Yeah, I mean, I like hot dogs now, and I can tell the difference. But like, I've had hot dogs are good. You know, But in Germany, it's more like there's a little bit of spice, but it's very much I'm eating meat.
Yeah,
you know.
No, I think I would agree, man. I would hate to like bite into it and taste like herbs and stuff. And, ew,
it's
just gross. Yeah. Although I will say, my little treat that I get every now and then is you can get these at Costco. The I forget what the brand is. You probably know the brand, but they got the little chunks of cheese in
yeah, those are nice. Okay, now that we're on the non-Starbucks topic of sausages and stuff and hot dogs, so one thing that I miss a lot and that I can't even get in Seattle is locanico.
I don't even know what that is.
I know exactly, because you can't get it in Seattle. It's Greek sausage. Locanico literally just means sausage, but it's like a specific kind of sausage.
What makes it different?
They have orange peel in it. And
I don't hate the idea of that.
It's really zesty. It's really great. The way that you eat is you cut it up into slices and you just kind of like fry it on a pan.
Okay.
So it's really good. But yeah, so like there's only, even in Massachusetts where there's a lot of Greek people, there's only like one company that sells Locanico.
Okay.
And it's like the Old Neighborhood is the name of the company.
Yeah.
So like when I was in Seattle, I looked for Locanico like high and low and I couldn't find it. You know,
well, it's Europeans just don't live in Seattle.
I know, basically. Well, Southern Europeans don't live in Seattle.
Well, I mean, do any?
Yeah, actually.
Oh, well, okay. Yeah, you'll get like the Nordic people. Yeah, so, for sure.
So the weird thing is, so okay, this is totally off topic, but I'll just do it. So in the United States, you know, a lot of Greek people came to the East Coast, right?
Yeah.
All the Greek people in Boston and like New York, other than the people who stay in their Greek ghettos, you know, they came out and they opened up pizza and sub places. Like all the Greeks did pizza and subs. My grandfather did a fish restaurant. Now the few Greeks who went over to Seattle, they opened up Greek restaurants. So there's like a lot more Greek restaurants.
Like authentic Greek?
Authentic Greek, yeah.
That's funny.
And I remember the owner's Greek and the woman was there and she was like, oh, you're Greek. I'm like, I'm Greek too. Yeah, it's a kalimera, which means good morning. And at that time, I didn't know what that good morning meant. So I was just like, oh crap, I'm actually not Greek at all. I just totally look like a fool now. But so like on the East Coast, the Greeks are very American, but on the West Coast, the Greeks are very Greek, you know? Yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
But back to Starbucks, man.
So I have a question because I feel like you'd be able to answer this pretty well.
Yeah.
Starbucks culture. So we know Starbucks culture between Japan and America. How about West Coast versus the East Coast? Is Starbucks different in the East Coast?
Starbucks is way better in Seattle. I'll tell you straight up.
So like, what's the difference?
So like in the East Coast, right? So I told you before, in Seattle, in Seattle, you do have comfortable chairs, but there's so many Starbucks and I feel like things are cleaner and more organized there. But on the East Coast, you would have couches. The couches would get really scuzzy a lot of the time, or they get old. I remember there was this one Starbucks in an area close to me that had like rips on the bench chairs and stuff like that. And the people working there are high school students who don't really care at all. But like I have one friend from Seattle who used to work at Starbucks, and he took a lot of pride in working at Starbucks.
Yeah, I think definitely in Seattle. I think I'm going to say also this is unique to Seattle.
Yeah,
you won't see this anywhere else in the country. But there's a very there's a hipster crowd of people that will specifically only work at Starbucks, and so you'll get like somebody who's in their mid 30s, and they're working at Starbucks because like they like that job.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
right. Yeah, so that whole barista, hipster barista thing is very West Coast.
Yeah,
you don't really have that on the East Coast.
Yeah, and
I feel like a lot of people go there. I just feels like scuzzier, and like people go there not to. I just don't know. It feels more like dilapidated and kind of old.
That's interesting.
Yeah, like darker. It actually feels darker.
Darker.
No, I don't mean darker from like an atmosphere kind of thing, but like the room is kind of darker and colder. I feel, you know. But that's how we are on the East Coast, you know.
Just terrible people. Yeah, we're a more refined civilization.
In school, did you ever read the book Ethan Frome?
No.
Okay. Yeah. It takes place in New England, and it basically shows you why all New Englanders are rude.
Well, there's a reason why the rest of the country hates people from New England. So as soon as you hear, "Oh yeah, I'm from Boston,"
I'm from Boston.
Like, oh God.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, this guy's going to be a jerk.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I get it. But yeah, so I would say Starbucks, you know, is a lot better on the West Coast. I would say at least in Seattle, because I only know Seattle.
Yeah.
But one thing that I also liked about Seattle is that they did have a couple of like non-labeled Starbucks. I think. And
what do you mean?
So this was back, I think, when I was still in college, because at my age, it was cool to dislike Starbucks. Like, oh, you drink at Starbucks? Oh, you plebe.
Especially in Seattle, because there's actually a reason for that. It's because the CEO of Starbucks, Howard Schultz, owned the Seattle Supersonics, which was the basketball team. And I want to say
he moved it out. He's the one who moved it out.
Yeah. So in like the early 2000s or something, he sold the team to, I think,
Arizona,
some guy in Arizona or Kansas or wherever they ended up going. And so Seattle had lost their basketball team, and
is that why?
The Supersonics were a terrible team.
Yeah,
they were god awful.
Yeah.
Like they lost almost all their games, but for some reason, everybody loved them.
Yeah.
Like those games were constantly sold out. They were super popular. People loved the Sonics.
Yeah.
And so everyone, like, there basically when he sold the team, there was like this huge movement to boycott Starbucks.
Really?
Because people
that's
were
why.
pissed.
That's why, man.
So that's why there's hatred of Starbucks in Seattle.
Okay, because I came in, I thought it was just because the coffee is crappy. I mean, there's probably part of that too, but I didn't know that he did that whole thing with the Sonics. Yeah, because I moved to the Seattle a few years after that happened, and people were still talking about it.
Yeah,
like, man, whatever happened to the Sonics, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so when I was in college, it was popular to hate on Starbucks, and so Starbucks would experiment with Starbucks cafes under different names and different branding,
like Tully's.
No, not Tully's.
You know, Tully's is Starbucks, right?
I know, and Seattle got rid of, and in Seattle they got rid of all
coffee.
That. Yeah, and they got rid of all that. They're all Starbucks now. So I remember the UW used to be a Tully's campus. Like when I was doing my orientation, like we are proudly a Tully's campus, and now it's Starbucks.
It always cracks me up because like every once in a while, I'll, like talk to cafe people here, and not like serious coffee drinkers, but like, oh, I don't really like Starbucks. I prefer Tully's, and it's like
same thing.
You know, it's the same coffee, right?
Yeah. But what they did, so it wasn't Tully's. It was like this one-off shop, and I remember because it was on Capitol Hill, right? And I went there because it looked cool. There was like a fireplace and stuff there, and I saw that there was a Frappuccino on the menu.
Yeah,
it's like, oh, that's weird. I thought Frappuccino was trademarked.
Yeah,
because it was.
Oh, really?
Because it was Starbucks running that under a different name, and they still sold the same drinks.
I didn't know that Frappuccino is trademarked.
Yeah.
I just assumed that was the name of the drink.
Yeah, well, they trademarked it because they invented it.
They can... Oh, man, what?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, so I remember seeing, because it was that Frappuccino with like a trademark sign on it, and I'm like, how can this non-Starbucks shop sell... Oh, wait, and then I looked it up and I said, holy crap, this place is Starbucks.
Connecting the dots. Like, this is actually Starbucks.
Yeah, right. So they were doing but basically Starbucks would come out with really unique locations that had that nice ambiance, you know? And in Japan too, they have a lot of places. Like actually, there's a Starbucks in Niigata near where my wife grew up. Yeah, which it's actually a very, very spacious place with a slanted roof, and it's very like a beautiful building, you know, and I really like that.
I actually really, really like the Starbucks, and I want to say Kyoto Station. It's either in Kyoto Station or it's like right nearby it. But the atmosphere is really nice and the view is really cool. You can see Kyoto Tower from it, and it's really cool. Yeah. That, and then also there's a Starbucks in Shinagawa Station, which I don't know if you know where that.
It's on like you go up the stairs.
Yeah, you go up the stairs and you're kind of like overlooking the station. I like that.
Yeah. Actually, my favorite Starbucks are both in Kyoto. So I like the Starbucks on the way to Kiyomizu-dera because it's like a very traditional outside. But my favorite Starbucks I like to go to is the one on Sanjo, which is it's a Starbucks that's in this. It almost looks like an old-fashioned tower, like a German lookout tower or something like that. And it's overlooking the river. So like you can go down, and you actually go down, but you're still above the river, so you can like look around. It's just I just really like that one.
I will say the Starbucks at the Shibuya Scramble, if you can manage to actually get a spot to sit down and overlook the Scramble, it's really cool.
But they closed it down, man.
Wait, it's gone?
It's gone.
What?
They closed it down about maybe like a half a year ago.
Dude, it just shows like how often I go to Shibuya these days.
Tsutaya owned that place, and Tsutaya left. They left, so they left. The Starbucks is gone too, and I think
that sucks, man.
I know, right? That was like an institution. Yeah, you know? You can't say you've been to Tokyo unless you've been there.
Yeah,
you know?
It's like what's the point of going to the Scramble now?
I know. Yeah,
you got to go to the Starbucks.
I know. That was like
the Starbucks and the Don Quixote are the only reason to ever go to the Scramble. You go to the Starbucks to meet your friends, and then you go to Don Quixote. You go inside, you buy alcohol, you get drunk outside in the street, and then the cops yell at you. That's your experience as a foreigner in Shibuya.
So my experience is we would always get drinks at the 7-Eleven in Sentagai. Not the 7-Eleven, the Famima in Sentagai.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's a family mart.
And we would, like I had so many interesting conversations with strangers, just like
dude, I know exactly what you're talking about. That was like my Halloween every year.
Yeah, man. Well, I feel like we've talked a lot about Starbucks
for sure.
Yeah, so I wanted to talk about Ghibli, but we'll have to talk about that next time because we're like.
Wow, we just powered that drink down.
You powered through that, man.
I mean,
I mean, it is stressful. It is urakasumi too, so it's good and stress.
Yeah, this is really good sake, man. You picked out the good one today.
I always pick out the good sake. Anyways,
it's not true. Sometimes he picks out kind of mediocre ones.
So yeah, so we're gonna so after this, we're gonna put out another survey to get topics from people.
Yeah. So I think what I'm gonna do this time is I think we should farm some ideas from our friends group, and then I think maybe we'll take those 5 ideas, or maybe we'll take like the top like 3 and then combine those with like maybe some of the more popular ideas from this last poll.
Sure.
And we'll see how those go.
Yeah, let's do that.
So we've mentioned a couple times in this episode, but we do have a new Austin and Arthur friends group that we got started, and basically for a measly pittance every month, you can join this awesome group, and you'll get access to translated videos.
Japanese and English subtitled videos.
Yeah.
You also get a PDF script so you can read along with that. And you'll get in our group where you can talk with us too.
Yeah.
Share ideas.
We're still in the infancy phase of this. Yeah. We're still growing it. But we're really excited. We've got a ton of ideas.
I would love to like just get everyone together and just go somewhere. That'd be great.
Man, we've been talking about that for a while now. I know. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. I think that would be a really fun idea.
Yeah. But yeah, so if you guys haven't checked out friends, and you want to get more closely connected, or you want to get, extra stuff to help your English, check it out. If not, please enjoy this video.
There's probably a link under this.
Yeah. But with that, I'll talk to you next time, man.
See ya.
See ya.